Hi everyone, glad you're here. We've got a dynamite review about an absolutely great restaurant that no one seems to know about. Now we've been frequenting this restaurant the last 6 years or so, and we keep forgetting about it too. And you know what? I don't think the restaurant really cares. You'll see why a little bit later. My wife and I are self-proclaimed foodies, no question about it. We love fine dining, tablecloths, and great service, although sometimes we'll do more down-home dining too. It's all about the great food. So we're bringing you reviews of great restaurants in San Diego County and beyond. Late in 2018, our house suffered some significant water damage from an air conditioner unit in the attic that leaked. The water ran down through the walls, through the master bath, down into my wife's office on the first floor. It was a real mess. We even had guys in hazmat suits out here dealing with the asbestos glue that was holding the now trashed mirror on the walls. But that's another story for another day. Bottom line, the insurance company had to put us up in alternate lodging while the construction progressed. It was going to be for at least a few weeks. They first offered a motel up on Palomar Airport Road. You know, the one room, one bath type of thing. Now that would have been just fine for 2 to 3 days, but this was going to be 3 to 4 weeks, so we pushed for something better. The insurance company was very helpful. They asked my wife, well, you suggest something. So she went on the internet, took a look at rentals, and came up with a timeshare at Aviara. And by the way, let me invite you to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. A subscription costs you absolutely nothing. You don't get scam emails. You don't get any of that type of stuff. All it really does is just give you a convenient place on the YouTube website to look in order to find our latest video. And the thumbs up, that tells YouTube that you enjoyed the video and to serve it up to more people so that they can enjoy the video too. So please do subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We really would appreciate it. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Aviara, the hotel on top of the hill is now a Hyatt, but it used to be a Four Seasons. And when it switched, Four Seasons apparently kept the timeshare operation down below. Now, timeshare operation is called Four Seasons Residence Club Aviara. And with that operation comes a restaurant. So let's take a look at Seasons. As far as I can tell, they really don't advertise. Now they do offer a 15% discount to those living on site, and I guess that's the business that they want. But it is still open to the general public, and that meant us, right? So come on down, join us for a meal. I know you're going to like it. Now remember to stick around, because we're going to be giving this restaurant a traveling foodie attorney rating. That and the legal tip of the month coming up toward the end of the video. Now you can either access the restaurant from up top off Aviara Parkway. You come on in off of Aviara Parkway, drive past the hotel and then down to the restaurant. Or you can enter from Bataquitas Drive on the bottom, which is where the restaurant is located on Blue Heron Place. We prefer to enter from the bottom because there's just less chance of getting lost, particularly when it's dark. Entering from the top, it's just a little bit confusing. Not a lot, but a little bit confusing, so be forewarned. Now, Seasons is a small restaurant, but it's very attractive and has a valet. Although there's always plenty of parking, and the walk is 20 yards or less, so I really can't see the use of the valet unless it's raining, maybe. Now, we often have trouble getting together with our kids because they're just so busy and their kids are equally busy. So we often time shift. This was filmed in February 2025, and we were still celebrating the holidays. So you can see how far we had to time shift. But you know what? I'd be interested in knowing how you handle getting together with your kids, your overworked kids. So please comment down below. Now the interior is really gorgeous. Take a look at this. And take a look at the outside here. What a great setting for a meal. We were escorted into a private dining room, and it too was gorgeous. And, all of that is great, but none of it really matters if the food isn't up to our usual exceptional standards. Because remember, never another bad meal, ever. We started off, as always, with drinks, a whiskey sour and a red wine. But the real start was the artisan bread. Now that artisan bread was served with a choice of 3 different spreads: house-made savory butter, pimento cheese, or brandade. That latter is a Mediterranean spread called by different names depending on which country you're in. Brandade in France, bacala mantecato in Italy, and rondata in Spain. It's basically a cod and potato spread. Personally, I'd lean toward the savory butter. Now, the menu takes its lead from the name of the restaurant, Seasons. So that means the menu changes every season. And that's both a plus and a minus, I guess. The plus is, you're getting things that are appropriate for that season. The minus is, if you're going there really often, you're going to tend to see the same things from time to time. Now, it really wasn't a problem for us when we were living there for several weeks because there's enough of a choice to keep it interesting. But if you're going there really, really often, I guess that could be a problem. Again, not a problem for us because we don't go there that often, but just a warning for you. The drinks were followed by Butternut Squash Soup, a very appropriate item for the winter. It was just delicious. Lentils, toasted pumpkin seeds, and whipped orange cream. We tend to order that when we're here because it's so good. I wish we had had more. After that, we went to the main course. Several hamburgers to the table for those who selected that. And Seasons has some excellent hamburgers. They really pile everything onto it. But my wife and I, we ordered something more traditionally a dinner plate. She ordered the beet-cured salmon, and I the lamb tagliatelle. Now the salmon is served on wild rice with a preserved lemon and fennel salad with walnut dressing. The flavor was fantastic, and look at the color, the presentation. And when I tasted it, I wished I had ordered that. Well, except for the fact that mine was even better. Lamb ragu with Tuscan kale and toasted pine nuts with Parmesan cheese. Wow! I like lamb. My wife really doesn't, but I do, and I like almost anything with toasted pine nuts. And the sauce was extraordinarily good. The dish had a rich lamb flavor, something I like, and was moist, certainly not overcooked at all. And the final entree was free-range chicken. Pearl couscous risotto with maitake mushroom, Brussels sprouts, and a dark chicken reduction sauce. It looked great. I didn't have a taste of that, but my daughter thought it was wonderful. So everyone loved their entree. Okay, time for the legal tip of the month. People often ask me when I'm writing an estate plan to leave more to one kid than the other, or to tie it up in a long-term trust because the other kid can't handle money, or whatever it may be. And then they follow that up by asking me whether they should tell the kids. And I really think what they're doing is hoping that I'll tell them that they shouldn't talk to the kids to absolve them of guilt. Now, if you're not interested in this subject, you can certainly skip forward on the timeline to where the restaurant review continues. And by the way, the point on that timeline where you need to skip forward to is listed right up here. But you're going to miss some really interesting things as to why you really should sit down and talk to the kids. Well, of course, if they don't talk to their kids, then they're leaving me or some other attorney to do the job, to tell them why mom did what mom did, leaving the lawyer holding the bag, so to speak. It's usually going to come out better if mom sits down and tells them, because as diplomatic as I can be, they're always going to wonder why mom did that and whether she really meant it. And by the way, what a great time to discuss what you own and what kind of care you want if you do become incapacitated. I mean, that's a time to discuss the whole shebang. Because if you have a stroke, how are the kids going to know if you want a caregiver to be brought in or you want one of the kids to act as a caregiver? And by the way, did you know that studies show that family caregivers generally have more depression and a lower quality of life? So why do family members act as caregivers? Because they figure mom wanted them not to spend the money needlessly, to save money, even if that's not really what you want. So you need to absolve them of that guilt. You need to tell them in advance what you want. And so many other things during this family sit-down. Now, we can help with all of that with the documents and helping guide you through what you should talk to the kids about. But in the end, you've got to be willing to sit down and talk to them. So call us at 760-436-8832 on this issue or any number of other matters. And if you'd like more details about this issue, there will be a link to an article that I wrote in the video notes down below. And once again, just to keep the boys and girls at the State Bar happy, my name is Merv Miller, and I am the Traveling Foodie Attorney. Our contact information and address is also down below in the video notes. Another fabulous evening out with the kids and the grandkids. We really enjoy that. But what about a Traveling Foodie Attorney rating? Seasons is an absolute gem. So let's rate it on ambiance. I would give it, in the private dining room that we were in, a 9.6. Now, please note that it does get noisier out in the main dining room, especially if you're sitting next to the bar. So you might want to consider that. And, maybe the ambiance rating might be less in that case. Service, I would give that a 9.8. They were great, they were friendly, they were efficient. I like it when those two come together. That really makes it great. And the food? Well, the only drawbacks that I can think of were that the menu doesn't change very often, and we discussed that earlier, and the dessert we had was ordinary at best. It was the Harvest Pavlova. Perhaps a different selection would be in order next time. But those are really pretty nominal negatives. I give it a 9.5. The presentation was really, really good. It was flavorful. It was served hot. This is definitely a place that you should try.